So, what up, man? You know what I mean? I'm Aaron. I'm your old social media journalist, you know what I mean? Entrepreneur and real estate broker, Indiana at that. So, today, man, I'm talking about, Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. And this is going down in November. Now, I ain't did this before in a long time, but I'm doing it now, and I'm back in full effect, first person, and I'm going to give y'all what I think. So, let's go.
Finishers in boxing, and he's proud of that. Things may have been rocky between them before, but Floyd has said that it all comes down to respect, especially now that they're older. That's why he's back in the mix with Calvin Ford, making sure Tank goes in sharp and leaves no doubt when that bell rings.
I think it's going to be a great event every time.
So, y'all, just to catch up, I seen a little bit of the video before I cut things on and start rolling, but they were talking about that Mayweather got in the ring with Gervonta. They dropped all their beef, and so Mayweather has made it clear that he ain't on no beef stuff. He's trying to get to the bag with Gervonta. He really wants to see him win. So that's good to see them both, talking and doing what they got to do again.
My fight is fireworks. Jake Paul coming in, he's much bigger, he's much stronger.
Calvin Ford, who's been with Tank from the start, isn't losing sleep over this matchup either. He's already seen Tank handle big guys in the gym for years, so Jake Paul's size doesn't scare him. Calvin has continued to emphasize on his only concern ahead of this fight, the gloves. Ford doesn't want Tank in those big 12-ounce training gloves. "We don't fight in 12s, he said. "That's for sparring." He wants Tank in 8s and Jake in 10s. That way it's fair, and the fight actually looks like a fight, not a gym session. He has now even talked to one of Jake's people about it, but they didn't want to mix and match. To Ford, that's fine, but if Jake wants to prove something, he should stop hiding behind exhibition rules. "Let him wear the 10s, we wear the 8s, then we gotta fight," Ford said.
My only concern is, the gloves. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't fight in 12-ounce gloves. We don't use 12-ounce gloves. That's training gloves, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's 2 pounds away.
As for the weight difference, both Floyd and Ford brushed it off like it's nothing. Jake's sitting around 190 or 195, maybe 5 pounds more than what they originally talked about. But Ford didn't blink. "We signed the contract. We're going to make it do what it do," he said. That's been the Tank mindset from day one. It doesn't matter who's bigger, taller, or louder.
I think
Once
that's
that
even.
first punch lands, the ring starts to shrink real fast.
I think it's an even
One
match.
thing that's still hitting Tank's corner is
Make
his
Paul
avoidance of
wear
his
the.
rematch with Roach.
Make him wear the heavier gloves, the 2 ounces more, while
I like it, baby. I like
Davis wears the 8.
But nobody really cares about this fight.
He got size on him, It needs to be some handicaps out there.
Everybody's gonna watch it.
Just like bowling, baby. Just like bowling.
Tank
Just
makes
like
people
bowling.
famous, Calvin has said in response. Roach was a nobody before. To him, that whole conversation is nonsense. If any of those top names had gotten the same offer Tank did, they'd have taken it without thinking twice. Ford's not about to let anyone guilt-trip his fighter for chasing the bag. That's just boxing. Business first.
Bro, you can't be.
Now, before I keep on playing, I'll tell you what. Now, just hold on 1 second. Hold on. All right, I had some stuff going on, but I don't think Gervonta made a bad choice. Now we just seen Wilder, and we just seen him fight Tyson Fury. Now, Wilder couldn't beat Fury. You know, he moved too quick by taking these rematches. All money ain't good money. You know, sometimes you don't need to go for the money just like that. Sometimes you got to go back to the drawing board, and, you know, and draw up that blueprint and see where you went wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I think Gervonta Davis is making a good move. So what people talking about? He's just chasing the bag. You know what I mean? All this stuff Floyd did. That's Floyd. This is still about business. Money make the world go round. So yes, go get the paper real quick. You know, circle back around to Roach. You know what I mean? Yeah, acknowledge him. Yeah, you got to draw. Yeah. I see you, but I don't move unless I want to move. That's how you move in the world, period. All right, but I'm coming. I don't want to talk too much because I got people all in the house. I don't like people all up in my business like that. You know what I mean? But, you know, I got a lot to say. You know what I'm saying? Gervonta Davis, he made a good move.
Mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them.
Will it impact Tank's legacy if Jake Paul were like to beat him or even like knock him out?
Dude, Tank's a 3-division world champion, 4-time 3-division world champion. At the end of it, bro, you can't take anything away from him.
Meanwhile, Floyd's presence in camp changes the whole mood. You can feel it. The energy's different. He's walking around giving tips, reminding Tank to stay calm, stay smart, and do what he does best. Break opponents down with timing and precision. Floyd keeps saying size don't win fights, skills do. And he's the living proof of that.
Chevy makes America's most dependable trucks.
As I said, man, you know what I mean? While we on commercial, like I said, Davis did a good move, you know. Go get the paper when you want to. Go get it where you need to be at. You the A side. Roach is the B side. You know, even though y'all got a draw, you still top dog. You gave Roach a name, and that's what it was.
All night. That's exactly the mindset he wants Tank to bring in.
I believe that this is a mismatch, and I believe that Jake Paul will knock Tank Davis out, maybe in the third, maybe in the fourth round. Tank will try to move, he will try to stick and move. It's not gonna work out for him, and he will eventually get knocked out.
It's strange seeing Floyd and Calvin working side by side again after everything that's gone down between Floyd and Tank in the past few years. But at the same time, it feels right. These are two men who both had a hand in building Tank into what he is now, a complete fighter with knockout power in both hands and the composure to carry it. They may have had their issues, but at the end of the day, it all circles back to respect and legacy. Floyd knows the kid he once mentored has turned into a full-blown superstar, and even though they've bumped heads, he still wants to see him shine.
Because he was talking about fighting Joshua, which is heavyweight, and now he's saying about fighting Tank.
Okay.
Nah, this can't be. It's Netflix as well. I need to go and do some checks and see if like the main pages have posted this, but Jake Paul's posted it. It says Friday, November 14th. It's in Atlanta. State.
A lot of pros are starting to see exactly what Floyd and Calvin Ford are seeing. That yes, Jake Paul's size is a factor, but Gervonta Tank Davis is just the better fighter in every way that matters. The weight gap might look crazy on paper, but anyone who's spent time in a gym knows what happens when skill meets raw size with no real ring IQ behind it. And that's what everyone's looking at right now.
Davis or
like I said, hey, we gonna see what Tyson Fury say. You know what I mean? But you know, just like a Scorpio, Scorpio Tank Davis, he sees you, he's watching you. Yeah, he sees it. You know what I mean? He's watching. You might not think he's watching like that, but he watching. I don't know where this fight can go. I mean, I think Davis might get knocked out, but I think Jake he might dance a little bit the whole time, so it can go either or. It ain't like Davis can't get knocked out. Anybody can get knocked out. You know what I mean? But Paul, I think he can get rocked a couple times, and I think he might turn into Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? A couple times. So it's interesting how the dynamics is going to work out. Let's hear what Fury had to say.
Jake Paul. So immediately, yeah, the normal layman would say, "Oh, Tank Davis is better." But better at what? Is he better at selling tickets? Is he better at selling stadiums out? Is he better at creating controversy? Is he better at getting followed on Instagram? Is he better at putting more eyeballs on the boxing? Is he better than him at that? The answer would be no. But is he better at him in a fight? It has to be really, you have to break it down.
Legendary trainer Teddy Atlas gave his take on the fight, and he didn't sugarcoat the difference. On his YouTube channel, Atlas pointed out that the first thing you notice when you see the two standing next to each other is the size. It was stark, he said. The size difference was so big you couldn't ignore it. There's nearly 8 inches between them in height, and the reach gap is even worse. But Atlas hasn't said that automatically decides the fight. He has acknowledged the talent gap, the experience gap, and the fact that Tank's ring IQ is on another level. If he hits him on the chin the way he can punch, Atlas said, Jake might be doing a dance.
Entertaining fight, to be honest. Jake Paul has a lot of followings, a lot of guys that are going to come and watch, and that gives the opportunity for other fighters to be seen on those cards, you know. So a lot of people don't agree, but at the end of the day, for me, it's entertainment. And if we can take boxing to the next level and give other fighters opportunities to be displayed, and for other people, YouTubers and all that, to be seen, and hopefully all the YouTubers and people there are just there.
That's the part a lot of people keep circling.
Now, I want to answer that question too. I mean, a big controversy with Jake Paul then and now is that, you know, he's a YouTube fighter. I don't understand that. If you train in a boxing gym, you're a boxer. If you slither like a snake, you're a snake. You get what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is Jake Paul is doing what he got to do. A lot of people are talking about him. They haters. So what? He's doing it his way. That's all that matters. He's in the ring with Gervonta Davis. He took his path to get where he was at to where he's at right now to fight Davis. That's all I'm saying. Your path, his path, all our paths are different. Okay? Make it work how you work. As far as how I'm looking at him, he looked like a boxer to me. Jake Paul looks like a boxer to me. I mean, yeah, the thing is with him is every time he gets in a ring with somebody, his opponents are always questionable. Just like this one. Gervonta Davis is small. That's what's questionable. Tyson, he's too old. He's just fighting people with names to make money. I get it. That's what it's all about, money at the end of the day. But Paul has that fire and desire in him. He has that fire in his heart. You know, I think he wants to be legendary. I think he does because he showed passion. It matters about him being a boxer. And that's what he did a lot of his YouTube on. So at the end of the day, if Jake Paul is trying to cement something in his legacy as a journalist, as, you know, a PR professional, Jake Paul is going to have to fight somebody who is not questionable. Like I said, Nate Robinson, very small, athletic, you know, but very small and not a boxer. That was his first fight. Other people, I can't remember who he's fought, but he's fought some guys, but their names weren't as big as some of the guys that I've named, boxers or not. They just didn't have no name, but they were boxers. So at the end of the day, Paul is going to have to fight somebody that is not questionable to be forever cemented as far as a good boxer even. He has to fight somebody that's not questionable. So let's keep going.
Circling back to Jake's big, but Tank hits like a truck. And not just with power, but with timing, placement, and accuracy. When you combine that with the fact that he's used to fighting faster, more polished guys than Jake, the physical disadvantage starts to look less dramatic. Atlas even reminds people that boxing history is full of examples where the smaller man handled the bigger one. That's been the sport forever. Size helps, but it's never been the deciding factor when skill and composure enter the ring.
Jake he ain't gonna fight back. He said, so I said, you gotta take him serious. You see what I'm saying? Because he talked about, he had you on a hit list before this fight even happened. So his mental is on you.
Right.
So you have to take him serious.
Still, there's a real discussion about whether the physical side could still cause problems. Jake Paul's a cruiserweight. He's used to throwing heavy, slow power shots. Tank, on the other hand, is used to angles, speed, and reading opponents who actually move.
This is Buick.
While we're on a break, if you're in Indiana, living in Indiana, all you gotta do is hit me up. I'm Aaron. I'm a carpenter, realtor, broker, and I handle property for a living. So if you're, a family of, 2, 3, 4, and you're looking for a home, all you gotta do is just hit me up. Hit me up 317-349-0576. That's it. Or I'll just be on social medias. If you're looking just to go into business, for yourself, which you should, contact me on social media, or you can look me up on my website. My information will be in the description. If you're just looking to lease, you can't find a property in Indiana, preferably Indianapolis, all you have to do is hit me up. So, yeah, just hit me up if you're looking for a piece of property. I'm an Indiana real estate broker. All right, let's keep going.
Years.
Listen, he's a marketing genius, but when it comes to people that pick and lose fights, I can't get my head around it. If Tank hits him clean, he's going to sleep. He'll have a lot of smoke blowing up his backside by his coaching team and people like that, but when he gets hit the real 10-ounce, well, I'm told it's 16-ounce gloves now, it's like an exhibition. Right. I'm told it's big gloves and head guards, he's going to need them.
Atlas brought up old fights where smaller champions shocked bigger men, like Terrence Crawford's performance against Canelo Alvarez. But he warned that Tank's situation is unique. This isn't a sanctioned title fight where weight classes protect balance. It's an exhibition. The whole setup changes the tone.
Do you think that it's fair to call them boxers now? Talk about Logan Brothers.
I think it's okay to call Jake Paul a boxer. The only reason why I say that is because he do be in the gym. He's working on stuff. The fight that he fought Mike Tyson, I don't think he should have fought Mike Tyson because of who Mike Tyson is and the age. And he said that he didn't try to knock him out. Yes, you did. You just couldn't get.
The Florida Athletic Commission have also come out with all the details. 10 rounds, 3 minutes each, 12-ounce gloves, and knockouts are allowed, even though it won't count toward either fighter's record. They have even confirmed the fight will be judged by 2 human judges and 1 AI system, just to make it interesting. No official winner will be named, but the structure looks and feels just like a real fight. The only difference is that it's labeled exhibition for safety and regulation reasons. And that's part of why some fighters have mixed feelings.
Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. You have the Paul brothers and they come over to boxing. Their idea from day one is we don't have the skills.
First of all, let me say this. I don't know what that guy was talking about. Every time I go out to a restaurant on fight night with my lady or something like that, and Gervonta Davis is the headliner, it'd be a lot of people in the at the place, at the venue where I go to watch him fight, pay-per-view. So that don't even sound right. As a journalist, don't ever believe what people are saying, especially people with no credentials. You can't trust them. They're citizen journalists. They're just people talking. Pretty much me, you can guarantee, besides my own opinion, when it comes to stories, news stories and stuff like that, I run with facts. I have to. That's in my profession. That's in my bachelor's degree. So I would never jeopardize facts from fiction, But let's keep it going. And I think AI as a referee is going to be very, very interesting because most of the time, AI has a lot of fiction, reels and make believe stuff out here. So you can't believe a lot of things going on right now. But every time I ask Google, like, Gemini, I think it is, or Siri or whoever it is, as the AI navigator or Gypsy or whatnot, it gives me sound, factual information. So by AI judging this fight, I think that is very, very interesting. Therefore, it shouldn't be fixed at all. And I think it's 3 minutes that they're going to fight for. 3 minutes. Well, I think every fight is 3 minutes. Duh. I don't know how many rounds it is. Let's keep listening and see how many rounds it is. But if it ain't like 12 rounds or something like that, because it might be short. If it's like 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds or whatever, that's not enough rounds. So you might not. I think that Davis really could knock him out very quickly. It's all about how Davis maneuvers with Jake. I don't think Davis has the power to knock Jake out, because anybody with a chin can get their bell rung. We know this, so I can't say that. I just don't. I don't know. I don't know. Let me think about it. I don't know if Davis is going to knock Jake out. I'm still thinking about it.
To the experience. What we're going to do is we'll take on the absolute best guys, but they're going to spot us some pounds. Tank has one job to do, that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skill, of which I am in abundance of, and of which...
The commission itself said it clearly. The match will be logged in the National Registry as an exhibition, and it will not count toward either athlete's professional record. But at the same time, knockouts and technical knockouts will end the fight just like a normal contest. So, in reality, it's an exhibition only in paperwork. Once the bell rings, it's a real fight with real punches and real risk.
Tank looked very uncomfortable facing off. He just did. I've seen other face-off this Tank done. He gets their face and they're intense and he looks good. He looked very meager up there. You've had 8 fights and you're gonna go tangle with Tank Davis. And the story instantly comes out. Jake is so much bigger. There is such a compliment to Jake within that insult. It is meant to be an...
A lot of fighters think the whole setup is a money move, and they're not wrong. It's a business play that happens to include 2 guys who can fight. That's why most pros aren't taking it too seriously, but still admit it's going to draw massive numbers. Terrence Crawford, one of the best pound-for-pound fighters on the planet, even said as much. He doesn't think it's a real fight in the traditional sense. It's more of a business tactic than anything else, he said. But then he added something interesting. He actually picked Jake Paul to win if they go hard.
Of course. I kind of see it.
Crawford said, Jake's too big for Tank. Tank is very talented, can punch hard, and is explosive, but Jake can punch with that right.
The Starfleet Academy trailer starts now.
See, if Crawford is going to say something, that makes you really look at it, because Crawford he's a gifted fighter. We all just seen that. However, like I said, I'm still thinking about Davis. Davis knocking Paul out, if he can do it or not. I think he can. I'm not going to say slim to none, but I think it's unlikely that he knocks him out. It could happen, though. So that's where I'm at with that.
Not doubting Tank's skill, but he's looking at physics. In his eyes, if Jake lands clean with all that extra weight behind him, it could end badly. Honestly, I think Jake wins by youth. Jake's just too big, Crawford said. If they really go at it, he's just too big. Jake could land one good punch on Tank, and it's over with.
Jake Paul versus Tank Davis, they just announced the fight. What's your instant reaction to that?
I don't know what's going to happen with a 135-pounder going up against a 200-pounder.
Right.
I think it's not a real fight. Jake just too big. Tank ain't gonna be able to get in from that jab.
Right.
Jake land one good punch on Tank. It's over.
Going down.
On the other hand, Amir Khan has gone the complete opposite way.
Right.
He has straight up called the fight disgusting. He's worried that something could go wrong, that the weight difference is too much, and that even though it's an exhibition, the damage could be real. Khan has said he fears a tragic outcome, which is extreme but understandable given how much Jake outweighs Tank. He's thinking from a safety point of view, not a promotional one.
Hard to know in some things. I think Gervonta's just gonna stick and move. He'll be fast, play it smart, I don't see him staying still for too long so Jake can land some shots. He'll just try to touch him. Who knows, man? It's an exhibition. It's a money grab.
Meanwhile, most of the boxing world, especially those close to Tank, are standing by what Floyd and Calvin Ford have been saying all along. Size doesn't win fights, skill does.
Right.
Tank's got the timing, the precision, and the composure to handle bigger guys. He's done it in the gym plenty of times, and this time he's got Floyd Mayweather back in his corner to make sure everything's tight.
Look at this face-off, Henry.
Right.
What are your thoughts?
You're hearing that shit from me. That's cringe. In some weird way, I kind of like
cringe
it.
about it?
He's trying to big man the smaller guy, who the smaller guy.
I think it's going to be interesting once again. I'm going to wrap it up this time, man. Like I said, I'm still thinking about this Davis thing, man. I think Davis, I think he needs to be very focused. He can't be, in the same mind frame as he was with Lamont Roach. Because when he was with Lamont Roach, like I said, him getting into it with his girl, him having, police problems and whatnot, you know what I mean? I think that kind of like did something to his psyche. His brain kind of threw him off, knocked him off his rocker. He's not really focused like he once was. He's been at the top, for a minute, and more money, more problems. We always see it happen. Well, I don't know about some of y'all because some of y'all YNs. Yeah, I ain't been, here long enough. But I've seen it before. People my age, give or take, we've all seen it before. But I think he's going to have to be real focused to even knock Jake Paul out. And that size different. It depends on how Jake really play. His skill is really going to show in this fight, Jake Paul. Because if you've seen Fury on Wilder, what went on was Tyson went to that drawing board after that first fight, and what did he do? He started leaning on him every time. Every time, they would clinch up. Fury, he had height on him, he had weight on him, on Deontay Wilder, and he just kept his weight on him, and it just tired Wilder out. And this is the same situation. It's if Paul clinches up and he keeps on doing it with Gervonta, which I don't think is going to happen, he could tire him out with that weight. That's like more than 50 pounds that he got over him. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting. I don't think there's going to be that many rounds. But like I said, like everybody else is saying, it's a money grab. Anything can happen. Anybody can get their bell rung. Till next time, I'm Aaron, and follow my news, man. Follow my real news. You can trust my news. All my news stories and stuff like that pretty much be on Facebook. Just go on Facebook, Public Announcement TV. You'll find me. I'm always I haven't been putting out too much content because I've been trying to get my first person commentary. This right here, I've been trying to get it up and running for a long time, and I'm very happy I got it up and going because I be having a lot to say. This is my first time doing it. So till next time, just hit me up if you want some real estate in Indiana. Don't waste my time. I'm not trying to hear it. If you're trying to buy and you're serious, just hit me up. Go to carpenterrealtors.com. You'll see me in there. Just type in Aaron Russell, and I'll come up. Or you can just find me on Facebook, and all my information is right there on Facebook. Like I said, Public Announcement TV. And so it's good to be back. I'm here to stay this time, and I'm happy to talk to y'all, man. So like, subscribe, comment, tell me what you think, because it's only gonna get better at this point, Peace.